here with a passion to do the right thing.
Commissioner, absolutely. You know, there's an old adage in politics: your enemies today are your friends tomorrow, and it's so true. But I respect you. I respect the job you're doing. You know, we share something. We got something, and we have a common interest, and that's the varied background that we have. I mean, you've done just about everything, especially in terms of government. And with my background, my general practice, I've dealt with every single issue that you can think of in terms of the legal profession, you know, dealing with human nature, different personalities. You share that background, and it's a positive thing to have, and it's going to really serve you in the future. So thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate all your support and all the good work you do up here representing the coast and the state here in Jackson. Because it's not just the coast. I think that's the other thing that people forget. We represent the coast, but we also represent the entire state.
Absolutely.
We look at
no doubt.
And the leadership has recognized that. And Hank, he now has a committee called State Affairs.
That's
so
right.
He's looking at.
We're going to be busy.
I had to buy my own show. Sorry.
Well, we appreciate you. And then, Scott, you've been in this business a while too. I mean,
I have. You know, when I got out of law school, I got a job as a staff attorney for the House of Representatives. Had no interest in politics before that, but it was the first time they'd ever hired attorneys. Before that, the Attorney General sent 2 people over to the House and to the Senate. They put up a desk outside the chamber. You walked by and told them what your bills were while everybody was walking by. So they decided they needed to hire some lawyers.
Read awful, home, auto, commercial, builders, lips, and life is rich.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.
the Jourdan podcast.
Gave me a gift.
Yeah, that's right. I was 34 when I had my first child.
Doesn't that change you?
Oh yeah,
You're like, oh,
the
yeah.
very moment. You know what really changes you?
What?
Having a daughter.
No,
I mean, the boys are something, but the moment you hold that daughter and she looks up at you with those big eyes, and you realize you've never controlled anything.
I've heard the same saying from one of my best friends, DJ Boy. He's been friends since our dads are friends since we were 4 or 5. He's got Casey, and I know. It's like he's like Grayson can hunt, he's independent, but Casey, no, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
But all right. So Sean? It's hard for me. This got to do it because I know where Sean is. He closed on my house. I'm just going straight up. He closed on my house, our forever home. He was a closing attorney for that. He had a office. I still remember it. It's on right there by 14th Street, downtown.
Gulfport. Yep.
All right, guys. I'm going to ask you like I didn't know who Sean is. Sean Tindell, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Gulfport, born and raised. Gulfport Memorial, October 5th, 1973, and been there my whole life. And I love Mississippi. I love the coast, obviously. You know, it's home for me. But one thing that I've learned doing this job, particularly after I got elected in 2011 and sworn in 2012 in the state Senate, just how great our state is from top to bottom. I mean, I've had opportunity to make great friends in the legislature, great friends in law enforcement, great friends in the legal field, and had opportunity to go visit all parts of the state. And I've had opportunities to live anywhere in the world, but there's no other place I'd rather be than Mississippi.
So we got, I mean, he's not going to get on the camera, but we got Bo out here from Long Beach, works with you.
Yeah.
And Bo, I mean, y'all are moving like I've never seen before. I mean, I've seen you here, there. Like, what's the travel like? I mean, so where's your main location?
So, I mean, my home's in Gulfport. My wife and our 4 kids are down there. I've got a senior in high school, a sophomore in high school, a freshman in high school, 11-year-old. And my wife, you know, she keeps everybody moving forward down there. I usually come up on Monday or Tuesday, go home on Thursday or Friday. That deviates from time to time. And so it just depends on what's going on and what the demands are. But so that's kind of my schedule. I've got a house in Rankin County as well. And, you know, after 10 years of renting here in the city of Jackson, I decided, well, I might as well invest my money in something I might get a little bit of return on someday. So that's why I bought a house. So it's a busy schedule. It takes me all over the state. Like I said, I mean, I'll be in DeSoto County one day. I'll be in Jackson the next. I'll be in Lee County. Then I'll be back down in South Mississippi. So it's constantly moving. But home is Gulfport. Second home is here in the Jackson Metro, and fortunately, I got a wife that's great that understands the demands of the job. When I took the job, one of the first things I told the governor when he asked me to do it was that, I need to sit down and talk to my mom about it, who obviously as a single mother raised me, and then I needed to talk to my wife, because those two people kind of keep me grounded all the time, keep me moving forward, and certainly want to make them proud. So sat down and had that conversation, and they both kind of chuckled and said, "Yeah, no, we think this will be really good for you. It'll be even better for the state." And so with their support, we took on the job in 2020.
Wow.
So.
I mean, shit. Oh, sorry. Well, sorry. I'm trying to be kind of yeah, but this is like he's not. This ain't no campaign thing. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm paying for all the podcast stuff through my personal. I mean, the only sponsor is Oliver Scott Insurance, which, if you really know, that everybody knows on the show, is my son. So it's paid for through my insurance, because actually having a podcast and being creative helps me pay the bills. And I don't really hunt. That's like I said, we got some deer meat in there, but I don't hunt. My friends give me stuff, and I always tell the story. This is a funny story. You don't know how educated I am on the fishing stuff. Marty Wilson's the godfather of my child, and I helped him during a deal where we had a person that was trying to take 50. I was a marketing guy when I was a part of Blowfly, and he wanted me to work for marketing. And this is a true story. Marty's going to cry on this, but I didn't know Marty. This one, Miss Jacqueline, I never got to meet her, and that's his mom that had the Art FX. Well, I was working with, and I'm not going to bring your name up because it's not worth it, but they were in New Orleans, and she was sick and passed away. I did a handshake and said, "Hey, I got you, buddy. I got you. Like, don't worry about it." Well, then I was working for like 2 or 3 months without, because he's going through it. Now that was because it was a long play out. Well, being a good person, I called Marty on the phone because the guy called me, goes, "You need to sign this contract, or and don't do marketing." And I went, "Nah."
All right.
And then I called Marty on the phone. I said, "I don't know who this dude is." I said, "But you better watch your boy." And then that Christmas Eve, right there at Marty Wilson's Art Gallery, right there in Patch Red, I remember like yesterday. I get there, he goes, "Can you come by for Christmas? Can you come by?" And you know how Marty is. He's very, very emotional.
Yeah.
And it was sad, but it was a great story. But he when he was going through it, I get to his truck, and it's all his art. It's everything just to show love. And then since then, he's been cooking me breakfast. And I'm not making a political thing. I have his Hemingway that's ink on paper. It is not a G Clay. This is his that came on his bedroom for my birthday. This is a painting that Marty had at his bed, and it's right here. It's a Hemingway, and Sean, Marty never gives his actual paints up. But right here is the pillar. So if you're a loyal person, even if you don't know art, you just treat people good. You can have, like, this is what I get. It's if you know who Hemingway is the pillar that nobody's ever seen. And I do it because when I have a bourbon every now and then, I like drinking a bourbon and thinking about my buddy and what he's been through. So treat people well, you'll get this. It's not about, you got to treat people good to succeed.
That's right.
Let's go. Sorry about that. I bring Marty up, but because I miss him.
Yeah.
I'm homesick. So when you talk about when you talk to your mom, was it a long conversation?
No, actually, it was short. So
Well, you're man of the house.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm it. I'm an only child, so I don't have a lot of family support other than my mom. My stepdad had passed away in 2020, so I knew she needed me at that point in her life. And then, of course, my wife there with the 4 kids, and I'd been serving as a judge for a couple of years, and so it was going to be a different life. I mean, we knew the challenges that being in charge of public safety across the state would bring, and it would change the dynamic of what we deal with in our house. But ultimately, and I'm blessed. I mean, my wife and I will be 20 years this year, strong marriage. And a lot of people don't understand what that is. When 2 people love and trust each other, and she trusts me and I trust her, and it makes it work. And we go to church on Sunday with our family, and we're grounded in our faith. We're grounded in each other. And so it works. And she's got a public servant's heart. I got a public servant's heart. And again, that's what makes it work. And I'm a little bit of a boring guy. If you talk to my friends that knew me in college, they'd say, yeah, Tindell be in bed at 10 o'clock. And, I used to flip the breakers off if they were listening to music too late, because I was ready to go to bed. And
I didn't know Kappa Sig even partied.
Oh, well,
I thought Pike was all about it.
well,
They had a way better place. Got a pool in the middle.
yeah, but they kept losing the intramurals to us year after year after year. We were more into the sports thing at the Cap Sig house. So
So I mean, am I doing to mess it up? What is it? Slytherin? Is that what it is? The Harry Potter thing that Oliver always talk. My son, I'm big in Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
Slytherin.
So y'all were like, what's the Harry Potter group?
I
Y'all
don't
know that
know,
group.
buddy. That's a generational divide. I don't. If you're talking Star Wars, I can help you, but Harry Potter's out of my pay grade.
Sean, like, what? I mean, I know, real passion to like get. Look, man, like, I'm studying this. This is tough.
Yeah.
There's nothing like I've ever seen. This is a very, I mean, from people. It's like, man, I was so proud, like, to see that you're up here. It's like, I mean, you're always in the public eye, and you got to focus on. I mean, I know Bo knows you and Bo. Like, I mean, y'all are a team, but like, you got to problem solve at a level I've never seen before.
Yeah. And look, it's something that I've always enjoyed. I've always just been that person that looked at issues and tried to find better ways of doing things. So it kind of fits me naturally. And again, when it came to the Department of Public Safety, it wasn't a position that I asked for. I mean, I literally got a call from the governor's office out of nowhere. We think you would make a good commissioner at the Department of Public Safety. And I did have a background as a former prosecutor, handling their budget when I was in the Senate. So I knew about that realm and was passionate about public safety. But it was very much a surprise. And I had to ask myself, why? What did the Governor Reeves see in me to think that I would do a good job? And one, I think he knew I had integrity and I would try to do the right thing all the time. And I like to think that that's what he saw in me when I was in the state Senate. But I also think he saw that I had an eye for trying to fix things. And if there was problems, I want to try to work on them and I want to try to fix them. And if you remember back in 2020, we were having 3-hour delays at driver service stations. We got there.
I was there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was something.
It's way better now though. I mean, I went in there and, cause I always lose my license. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We got you on a frequent flyer program.
Well, no,
so.
I got on these, the Apple, ID things, and I'll pull something out, my golf cart key. I mean, recently, at was it Peter Anderson? You know where my phone was after my golf cart? Cause it bounced out. The OSPD, the new PD, I wish they'd bring back the old PD where you get your stuff. But they're like, call me on the phone. They're very sweet. They're like, hey, we have your phone. I said, who's this? They're like, this is Ocean Springs Police Department. It's cracked a little bit, but it fell out of my pocket.
Well, and what you need to do is download the mobile ID app so you can have your driver's license on your phone.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So. I'm serious, Ricky. I know you're watching right now. They got it now. We don't have to wait in line, Ricky. That's Ricky Audemon. Hey, that's a Ride or Die right there. Go back and watch his podcast. Go back and watch. Last week was Hank Zuber. Go watch that on the Tech on AI. Go watch on all what he's going for. He got appointed for working to try the best he can to was it Peer? Sorry, Peer. But like he got appointed, whatever committee, or I'm still learning. But he's kind of got that responsibility. Let's figure out how we get money. These are real topics. And that's something the thing is, I could say what I want about stuff and mix up the words, because guess who shows up to town hall meetings?
Yeah.
Guess who votes?
Yeah.
Guess who knocked doors for the people he believes in? I mean, ask Joe Carter.
That's right.
I mean, if you believe in a buddy, it does it. I remember picking up Michael Watson when he first ever ran, and I had my Jeep Rubicon in Latimer, and I had this young attorney sweating. I'm like, hey, what do you get my Jeep? And I went and got him a water, and I brought him around to my neighbors. He wrote me a letter, and I got into a whole roommate thing. At the time we had roommates, but Michael was able to write me a letter and thanking me, because not only did I get him a water and be friendly with him, I was like, you know how we are.
Right.
Come on, man. Let's go get you some good acreage and meet some people.
Well, anybody that's found success, nobody finds it by themselves. Now, I mean, there's this myth that this person's a self-made millionaire, this person's a self-made success. There's always people along the way that help you. And whether they're friends or people that you work with, they're people that you look at as role models, or, people that inspire you. there's always folks along the way that help you find success in life, and it's recognizing those. And you think about Michael, and you helped him, and the impact that you had at that time
I
in his
still
life.
help him. He's a great person.
And so, and that's what we all, I give a speech when I go around, and one of the things I'm passionate about is where do we find inspiration? Who inspired us to do different things in our life? And we I talk through those things. I talk about my mom, who was again, a single mother, a court reporter, would stay up countless hours working on depositions, typing away on the typewriter to make extra money while I was asleep in the other room. And the impact that had on me, and my stepdad, who she met when I was about 4 or 5, and we moved in with him. And as a World War II veteran, the impact he had. My grandfather, who was married to one woman, raised 2 children, fought for our country in World War II, and what he taught me about life. And even my teachers along the way, Miss Vicki Lawrence, who looked at me in 9th grade and said, "You can be better than what you're doing right now," and the impact that had on me on that particular moment to try to better myself, even at the age of 14, 15. Going forward, my wife, the inspiration she
Sean,
brings
what
to
were
me
you
while I do
when you were
this.
in high school? Were you a good kid, or were you like? I mean, for me, when I was at St. Martin, I mean, allegedly, I used to. This is a long time ago. I'm not going to even tell you where I was, but maybe I used to drive my baseball coach around, and he taught me more about driving with him because he had to run to do some baseball stuff. But he really educated me on how to veer off. I see these people now slam on brakes and just slam on brakes, and so many people on their phones. Me and Emily got in a
Yeah.
wreck. Me and Emily got in a wreck at Henry Two's. Right there.
Yeah.
Her sister. I'm sorry, baby. Her sister passed away. It wasn't not her mom's fault, but her sister passed away, and it was very at a young age. And she, this is a long time ago, but every year the family does a kind of send off, whatever. We were just going there to put some flowers. We were working all day. This young kid was on his phone right there at Henry Tooth, and he hit our Camry and hit my side with my baby in it. And the only thing I can remember is him looking on his phone.
Yeah.
Put your phone down, guys. Like, this is like, I don't even want to ride my scooter anymore because I got ran off the road because somebody was trying to take a picture of me. Asked me to pull it, goes, "Hey, Jourdan, pull over. Hey, pull over. Let me have a picture." But I mean, I had a car like on the phone, and I was like right there, where Biloxi is, like the Highway 90?
Yeah.
And I was like, pay attention.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it. Like, I drive, I mean, I'm not the person like that drives, 65 on the left lane, but I like staying at a good 70 cruise in the right lane, and I'll get there.
Well, if we're going to talk about public safety, I love public safety.
Let's go into this.
And look, I love, you're talking about distracted driving. We did a press conference today talking about the dangers of it. And you look at the stats, like 80% of car accidents or crashes, if you want to call them that, are avoidable because it's human error. It's distracted driving. It's not wearing a seatbelt. It's failing to follow the rules of the road. And so they're 100% avoidable. And how do we change that? How do we change that narrative? How do we get Mississippi off being number 1 or 2 in the nation in teenage fatalities? That's a stat that goes back 25 years. And so, we sat down, Scott and I and others, and started looking at ways that we could maybe try to deviate that, get Mississippi off being the worst in the nation when it comes to teenage fatalities. Driver's education. So with the help of Senator Dennis DeBar and other legislators, and we sat down and convinced them, gave them stats, gave them information. Let's mandate driver's education in Mississippi. Every school's got to offer driver's education in Mississippi. What else did we do? We said, starting in 2027, next year, you want to get a driver's license? You got to graduate from a certified driver's education
you need
program.
To. I mean, you need to.
And you're going to have to. Think about it. How many years have we had it that if you want to get a hunting license, you got to take a hunter safety course? I mean, that started in the 80s. How many years have we had it? You want to get a boating license, you got to go take a boater safety course. Yet, you could just pass a test. You could drive around the parking lot. You could pass the driving test, and you get a driver's license. Well, fortunately, we're changing that. And what have we seen since we started pushing the driver's ed? Teenage fatalities are down. Overall, fatalities are down. We're talking about education. We're talking about don't be a distracted driver. We're talking about no
after that
DUIs.
after that wreck I gained some type of like PTSD or something that I'll do it all the time. You won't even have to be in a situation, but I'll lock up. I will lock up, and I'm not embarrassed about it, but it's like it changed my whole way a car is. like you got to think about. I have Doug Borey. Shout out Dynamic Outdoors. I know you're no longer with us, but I have a beautiful '07, the Aqua Blue, that he did all the hunts through Texas. I have a Ford Lightning. That's a very rare black truck. It's also the insurance truck. Oliver Scott, kind of like Fast and Furious. You know what I mean? I'm trying to market here.
Sure.
Also, guys, listen to me through the audio. I'm on Spotify. I'm on everywhere. But don't listen to me in the car on the phone to see any videos. You can always go back. I work really hard to give people, other stuff where you can go at home. I mean, right now, that's why I was so, I was in a panic over my memory cards. But I've been doing for our elders. We have a lot of our elders that are watching me through TV, because you get on Facebook now, LinkedIn or whatever. But I make it better experience for them, so I can give them a real experience of what I think, and it's not it's I'm just saying what we've all felt.
Right.
Like, get off your phones, and I know that's, and guess what? It's something, and then all of a sudden a wreck comes, and it's your fault, and you're like, we don't teach that.
It's not worth. And another thing I've done, I've gone into high schools and I've talked to kids about these stats, and what you're looking at, and the seriousness of when you start to drive, and really safe habits. And it's not just driving; it's talking about the impact of drugs and alcohol, talking about the impact of safe driving habits, talking about just making better decisions. But what always gets their attention when you do start showing them pictures of the wrecks. Here's a picture of a car wreck that happened in Mississippi where a kid had their phone up and they were texting and they ran into a tree. Or, and then when you get into the drugs and the drunk driving, but when they see those things and the impact it has, hopefully, again, is creating safer drivers, better drivers. But we got to have real conversations.
And I do insurance. Parents out there, if your kid gets in an accident, your premium's going up, and they're probably on their phone listening to a Swiftie or whatever the thing is.
Yeah. Well, and here's what gets me is when I have parents come to me and they're wanting their kids to get hardship license. They're wanting their kids to get their driver's license. They don't want to have to take driver's ed. And the reality is, as a parent, number one, for their own safety, your child's own life, you should want them to be a really good driver before you give them that driver's license and before you give them the keys to a car. And so even with my own child, he was eligible to get his driver's license, but we delayed that for 3 or 4 months till I felt like he is ready for this responsibility. Not enough parents do that. They don't spend enough time with their kids in the car, and that's one of the reasons why we ask for the 60 hours of drive time that every parent has to certify that they do before they get a license. Because parents play a role in this too. You got to teach your kids how to drive.
The car's a weapon.
Yeah.
It's an average car is like, what is it? I mean, it's a Civic. Let's say a Civic's like probably 2,500. Whatever it is, I always worry. I worry about one of my biggest fears is tires. I mean, tires, road safety.
Yeah.
Like I tell people all the time, that's why I stay. It's just because even when I ride my scooter, well, I haven't rode it since that accident. I mean, I have not rode that scooter, and I built that scooter, and it's awesome. I was so proud of figuring out how to wire the thing, but like, I thought about selling it, but I'm like, no, I'm not selling something I built. Like, I'm not getting into that world. But it's not even fun for me to ride a scooter anymore. Like,
it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, and people are.
And squatted trucks are horrible. Okay, let's say that right now. The Carolina squat, y'all got to bring that back. Okay, this is too much. I was at an event. But I see these kids doing videos. I had this girl on like a 1500 with a cat-eye, and the kid got get outs. Like I was like watching when we were downtown Biloxi, and the kid gets out, and hey, Biloxi, this is not about y'all, dog. This is a whole different topic. But that was like, she was sitting there Indian style on the roof, and I was like, what? Like, and this kid gets out. He's probably 5'3". The guy that had the big truck gets out. I'm like, and he's on his phone, and I'm like, I have the photo somewhere.
Yeah,
because I was sitting there going, what? Oliver will not be like this. That's how we have a different structure for us.
Well, and look, you want your kids to be safe. Again, they get in a wreck, cost them their life. They get in a wreck, cost somebody else their life, or paralyze them. Or you get in a wreck and maybe you just injure somebody, and then you end up getting sued. As a parent, you're responsible. Financially, you're responsible for the damage your child causes.
But that one phone call, can you imagine if I got a phone call about Oliver?
No.
Could you imagine what I'd do?
Well, and look, and
it ended my whole career. I wouldn't have a business. I wouldn't have anything. I would sit there and pity, because I told you about that. We talked about what you went through. Me and you had a personal thing, and you understood. It's like you went through some dark times when you lost your dad.
Yeah. And
it's a real thing that will hit you.
That's right.
And what I love the most is my girl and my baby. And that to me is like, I don't know if Oliver, we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Well, and think about the officers. I mean, I've talked, and we've started doing a mental wellness program for our highway patrol, and it is and all our law enforcement. It's a peer support system. We've been talking a lot about PTSD for first responders. A lot of it is they're the ones that have to make that knock at a mom or dad's door and say, "Your son's not coming back." I hate to tell you. And can you imagine the impact on them too? It'd be hard on you, I know, and none of us want to imagine losing a
Yeah, that's
child,
why
but the men
education is
and women that
important.
do, and it's better to do this education on the front side. And that's why I'm so proud of Mississippi stepping up, supporting driver's education, mandating that it's got to be taught in every school, because my son was at Gulfport High. No knock on Gulfport. Gulfport wasn't teaching driver's ed, one of the largest school districts in the state, and they didn't have a driver's education program. When told to the superintendent, they brought it back. I was proud of that. But it shouldn't take that. That should have been there the whole time. And then the number of school districts that didn't offer it at all, now they're starting to bring it on board. And that's a really, really good thing. We're going to offer certifying instructors so that they'll be out across the whole state. So your kids will be able to get driver's education. It's critical that you spend time with them driving. We need safe drivers on our roadways. And then again, for our law enforcement, the job they do.
So Scott's been reading bills all day. What's your take on this, Scott? Because I mean, he's been reading bills all day.
Yeah. I don't know about the bills that I've read today. They're just titles, and they're not law yet. But
I don't know. I'm still learning.
I know, but
First
what
year, guys.
I know, but what he's talking about is really, really important. The numbers were overwhelming. Mississippi was number 2 in the nation in teenage fatalities, and we had used to have driver's ed, and it went away. They just sort of defunded it across the state. But since Sean got involved in it, passed the laws that he did, we now have it across the state. They have to have it. In fact, I think we have legislation this year that's going to mandate that they do it. It doesn't really matter because their kids can't go get a license if they don't get
That's right.
don't get it.
So let's talk about the numbers. In 2021, there was 80 teenage fatalities in Mississippi. In 2022, there was 63. So we saw a reduction. In 2023, it stayed about the same as 67. 2024, after the bill was passed mandating driver's ed, and we started talking more about it, a pretty significant reduction down to 74. 2025, last year, we had 50 teenage fatalities.
What?
So you think about 50. You had 50. So we dropped from 80 to 50, and that's still way too many. But that is a huge drop in teenage fatalities on Mississippi roadways, and I attribute it to the legislation that
One's
passed
enough.
and the education. One's too many.
Yep.
But still, that's 30 lives difference in 1 year from what we were just 3 years ago. So again, driver's education is important. Trying to make sure that we put better drivers on the roadways, that we talk about distracted driving so they understand the dangers of it, that we talk about the dangers of alcohol use and drug use and getting in a car. Even things like just wearing a seatbelt and the impact that can have on saving lives. So that's why driver's education is so important. It's why I've been so passionate about doing it through the Department of Public Safety, working with the Department of Education to get it done, working with our legislators to get it funded, working within our own department, Highway Patrol and others, to go into these classes and have that moment to have a conversation with young people about being better drivers.
And the hardest part, I think, is getting the funding for it. I mean, it's not an easy sell. It's something that you have to be passionate about, and the numbers sell it.
That's right. Well, and then too, one of the things we talk a lot about, and we're in charge of at DPS, is trying to coordinate school safety across the state with the Mississippi Office of Homeland Security. And what would happen if we had an active shooter in Mississippi and 50 teenagers were killed in an active shooter? How much money and resources would be put towards making our schools safer, more fortified, better response? And so I think sometimes people get numb to the teenage fatality numbers because we've been so bad for so long. Again, this is going back 20, 30 years that we're number 1 or 2 in the nation. So I'm trying to bring attention to it so that we can get that funding, that we can create special funding sources to
Dude, I
provide
love this
that.
place. So my boy Hank, my cold plunge buddy right here. Hey, Hank Zuber. Hey, could you do me a favor? Just don't step on the wires. We had some issues a little bit, but could you get in there, just wave a little bit? His podcast is let's see. He's episode 24. That's my boy right there. Come say hey. This is my audience is gonna get mad at you. Hank, this is one that took me around the Capitol. It's just these are real people.
And let me tell you about Zuber here. I mean,
So, hey, don't step on the wires. You got to get over here.
he's probably one of the few representatives and legislators
That's okay,
I know
just
that
go on.
still does a town hall meeting, invites people in for criticism, questions, whatever the case may be. And he's never been afraid to have those tough conversations. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, well, thank you.
Come on, Hank. Now, come on. I'm gonna do 2 cold plunges, tomorrow, because you asked to do it. You should.
it's changed my.
You hop in for a little bit.
I just want to say.
No, you gotta hop in. You gotta hop in. I'm gonna watch you with Bo.
Let me tell you about Zuber. Zuber's he's been in the house for a minute, but he's a prime example of how you can be on the different side of one issue and then come together and try to find and solve problems on others. You and I were actually on opposing sides in court. You represented a client, I was on the other side, and we would go back and forth. But at the end of the day, you're one of those guys that always steps up, sees problems. I think about the legislation revisiting campaign finance, and that all came out of a town hall meeting where you tackled changing something that everybody said couldn't be changed because people were buying cowboy boots with their campaign finance.
Hank's always tackling something like that, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I have to say that I think you're looking at your history of places that you've worked. One of the things I think that's really made you successful has been your time in the Senate, because the relationships you built and the ability then to go back and know the process. And not everybody knows that process. It's a complex process, but you have relationships that you build and people trust you.
That's right.
And
somebody told me early on, and Zuber, I think you would agree. I mean, your words got to mean a lot up there. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you say you're not going to do something, don't. If you change your mind, you need to go talk to the people that you told that to and let them know why. And that's important because you build that trust. And then you get your voters back home, and they've got to trust you too. And that's important. And then one of the things I think the legislature taught me, the networking's great, the learning the process, but is also how to deal with criticism. You're going to make votes that people don't like.
Sure.
You're going to make decisions that people don't like. They're going to get really passionate about it. And you better need to be able to articulate why you made that decision and end it on a positive enough note that say, hey, we might disagree on this, but we don't agree on a lot of other things. And let's know I'm up here with a passion to do the right thing.
Commissioner, absolutely. There's an old adage in politics: your enemies today are your friends tomorrow, and it's so true. But I respect you. I respect the job you're doing. We share something. We got something, and we have a common interest, and that's the varied background that we have. I mean, you've done just about everything, especially in terms of government. And with my background and my general practice, I've dealt with every single issue that you can think of in terms of the legal profession, dealing with human nature, different personalities. You share that background, and it's a positive thing to have, and it's going to really serve you in the future. So thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate all your support and all the good work you do up here representing the coast and the state. Here in Jackson, because it's not just the coast. I think that's the other thing that people forget. We represent the coast, but we also represent the entire state.
Absolutely,
we look at
no doubt.
And the leadership has recognized that. And Hank, he now has a committee called State Affairs.
That's
so
right.
He's looking at.
We're going to be busy.
I had to buy my own show. Sorry.
Well, we appreciate you, and then Scott, you've been in this business a while too. I mean,
I have. When I got out of law school, I got a job as a staff attorney for the House of Representatives. Had no interest in politics before that, but it was the first time they'd ever hired attorneys. Before that, the Attorney General sent 2 people over to the House and to the Senate. They put up a desk outside the chamber. You walked by and told them what your bills were while everybody was walking by. So they decided they needed to hire some lawyers, and they did. And they hired 6 each, and they kept a couple of us. And it was about a 4-year run, but I fell in love with
what was that
politics
like in
and people.
1894 when you started there?
Well, actually, you're being generous because it really was 1794. But on the other hand, look at me now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a whole different world. It was.
Well, it was pre-gaming. So, and you had a big influence on getting that done.
Pre-Republicans.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean,
Amen.
seriously, there
absolutely.
was when I was working there. First off, there were 300 lobbyists registered. When I became a lobbyist, now we got 3,000 or however many we have, because a lot of associations have 10 people registered. It makes the numbers kind of pump. But the there was not a Republican in sight. The Democrats that were there were conservative people by and large, but that's what they were. And it just, over time, it started to grow. Different people stepped out promoting the Republican Party, and people started actually, I think, looking at what their philosophies really were. And so they started to swing. And I think politics is a pendulum. I think it swings all the time. We're at a high on Republican, and it's gonna be some swing back. I don't know when or where, but it will, I believe. And so that's kind of what I saw as I was there. But it was, I really enjoyed it. It gave me really a mission because I really fell in love with the process, the people. You either respect the people in the process or you don't. And I immensely respected them because I knew them as friends, and I knew their personal stories. I knew the sacrifices they made back home in their careers and family and that kind of stuff. And it just, I've just been a fan of the legislature ever since.
Yeah, and I think you've enjoyed it, and that's why you're still here
Sure.
doing it at this point. And then Zuber, for you, what got you into deciding you wanted to be in the legislature?
We discussed that, I think it was
Last time?
Wednesday,
Okay.
Commissioner,
my audience, I'll tell you right now, this is what you wanted to see. You want to see real interaction with real people that fight for state of Mississippi, and they're right here in front of you.
But Commissioner, to answer your question, it was pretty simple. 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. Number one, I met my predecessor, and I knew that I could do a hell of a lot better job than he could. Okay, just to be blunt about it. And I mean, yeah, just and number 2, just to make a difference.
Yeah. You know, I think back, of course, my dad died in 1999. I was supposed to be doing business law. I had an opportunity to work at a law firm in Jackson after my first year of law school. And my dad had passed away. He'd been living with my grandparents for years. He's a 100% disabled veteran. And so I went home and stayed with them that summer. And at least that was my intent. I ended up staying with my mom and my stepdad. But they spent the summer with them, but I had no job opportunities. And somebody said, well, you ought to call the DA and see if you can go, get some experience and work there. And I went and met with Kono Karana, who was a long-term district attorney in Harrison, Hancock, and Stone, decorated war veteran, really, really interesting man. And he said, sure, well, you can come work with us. And I said, great. How much are we going to pay? And he laughed and said, you're not getting paid anything. You're going to get some experience and work here for free for the summer. And so I did it. And I got to tell you, when I came back, I changed my curriculum from business law and tax law and all those things to more criminal law and constitutional law. And I kind of found a passion for, hey, I enjoy the public safety aspect. I enjoy the public service. And there's more to life maybe than what I was just thinking at the time, which was I'm going to make money. And so when I came back, I had the opportunity to go work at the DA's office, did that for 5 years, went on to become a city prosecutor in Biloxi. And then when Billy Hughes ran for lieutenant governor, I saw an opportunity to be in the state senate. And I think about just how the impact that's had on my life, seeing things from a different perspective when you get up here. Because I think everybody comes into the Capitol with certain ideas. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And you realize it doesn't quite happen that way.
No, it doesn't.
So.
But Commissioner, again, I'll restate what I said earlier. You just, with your background, you bring not just one perspective, but many different perspectives to an issue. And that's, to me, that's an advantage and something that makes you different from a lot of other public officials, just to be honest about it. Mm-hmm. But if I may, I don't want to surprise anybody, but can I extend a personal challenge to you while we're on the radio or podcast, whatever you call this?
Nowhere.
Okay. I did my first cold plunge yesterday. And I didn't think, I said, man, Jourdan, are you sure this is going to be okay?
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to cause me to have a heart attack or something? And so we've done it for 2 days straight, and you need to do a cold plunge with us, because it will definitely, without question, wake you up and get your day started.
Yeah. Well, a year ago today, I did one in Gulfport, Mississippi, when we had that massive snowfall of 8 inches. And so I did my first cold plunge a year ago. And then I convinced my 4 kids, my wife, and my neighbors to also partaking. And next thing I know, everybody was kind of jumping in their pools that night. So
how we're doing it.
it was, and look, this Saturday and Sunday here in Jackson, you might have an opportunity to really, break the ice, so to
Break
speak.
the ice.
So,
You might can.
well,
Anyway,
I'm
thank
in.
y'all
Let's do it.
for having me. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Hank, you kill it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will do 2 because Hank, I have to admit that because like we've been pushing so hard. It's like I said,
You know, Hank was talking about your experiences, and it was something that you and I talked about beforehand. But your experiences is you've served in all 3 branches of government, which I don't know any other public servants that have done that. I call it the trifecta, but it's if you were a horse race guy, that's what you'd call it. But that gives you a level of experience across so many areas that you've seen.
Yeah.
It's got to be, it really has got to really help.
I've been blessed, and look, I've said everywhere I've stopped along the way has helped me build me towards handling this job, and it's a complicated job. I've been at it for a little over 5 years.
I call it when you showed up the first day, they gave you the fire hose and turned it on.
Yeah,
and I don't think they've turned it off since then.
Been drinking from it constantly, and look, Highway Patrol and Department of Public Safety have been around since 1938, coming up on 90 years of existence. I've been in this job for just over 5 years. I'm the 3rd longest serving commissioner in the history of the agency.
Really?
The average tenure is about 3 years. It's a lot. It's all the time. There's a lot to deal with. And so we have been drinking from a fire, brought on Capitol Police, brought on CTEB. We've had consecutive patrol schools. We've seen reductions of backlogs at the medical examiner's office and a whole host of other things.
Can you go into my listeners? Can you talk about the backlogs? Like just, I mean,
Yeah,
what it
so-
entails? Because I mean, they're all across.
So people don't realize the Department of Public Safety, we also have the forensics lab, which also houses the state medical examiner's office. And they do all the autopsies and all homicides in the state, and then all suspicious deaths. So when we got there in 2020, we had over 2,000 autopsy reports going all the way back to 2010 that had not been completed. And so those were families waiting on autopsy reports to get done, waiting on results for closure, so they didn't know what happened to their loved one, whether it was a homicide, whether it was an overdose, whether it was a suicide, whatever the case may be. We knew we had an issue. Wait times were 6, 7, 8 months for an autopsy report if you were able even to get one in a critical case. So we got there and we started just working with our legislators, trying to come up with better funding, looking at things that maybe we haven't been doing that we could do. We brought in death investigators to the medical examiner's office. We brought in nurse practitioners to help the doctors do the autopsies. We started hiring doctors from Texas, Arkansas, Virginia, all over the country to come in and help us. And we were able to eliminate the entirety of that backlog of cases within a couple of years. And so we did that. We've been working at the forensics lab on the backlog with the
How do you
turnaround
store all this
accounts.
stuff in your mind? This is insane. Like this is a very, because like we're like, let's be honest, like we're people, we're human. We all believe the same. I mean, if you listen to a song, I'm not going to play it on the show, but Holly Suspects, being human is you pull it up Holly Suspects, I might mess up and say it's like being human but it's human. But it talks like it's just like it's like it's the ones that go in, and I mean I learned that through Scott. I learned that through Hank. Hank's been such a Hank. Like Hank to me is, I mean we push ourselves. I like seeing behind the scenes. I came up here for a reason, and and we challenge each other. And that's the hardest thing. Is like, and then Hank's looking at me, and I'm like, because he went across that cold plunge. This is a real thing. He went across that cold plunge, and I went down. But when I slid down at the bottom, because we didn't know if yesterday was colder, because I kind of been testing. I've been cheating a little bit. I have been cheating. I will admit this. So I was telling Scott, I was like, I got to go to the gym. I got to heat my body up on elliptical. And then Hank didn't know I was cheating. But he was like, it was so cool because like when he first did it, but he didn't know that. Well, we're all going to be Hank, we do need to work on the motion, like us just being in the water longer. But like knock it. I mean, for us, like, because I know I'm gonna have haters gonna be like, "Well, it's not a real cold plunge. There's no ice in it." Dude, that was so cold.
It's been pretty cold.
Tell them the temperature that you.
I temped the water before Hayden came over. It was 36.8. Ooh. I was cheating on. I mean, I ran the hot tub the same way. Then I went and worked out. But Hank had no idea. Like he was like Hank has been working so hard, and this is a real experience. Like when we go and do like our little think tanks and stuff. Like, man, he's very curious about, and look, Hank's going to get back to you as fast as he can. Same thing with me. Like I know I've missed a lot of stuff, being up here because it's so fast. But Hank will get in and I'll look at Hank and it's like, and he will still answer the phone while he's just trying to take a breath. Like that's the cold. That's what I said. We need to start doing the breath. But it's just so hard now to see him go from day one when I've been cheating the whole time. Goes to. I'm telling you, I hit that bottom. I went, oh, like, and Hank's like, we're all cheaters because we do challenge each other. Like, it's a challenge, and then like we get in that water. He's like, Hank went. He did go further than me today. Okay, but at the time we didn't. We did a little extra. Hank taught me how to. So I do go up there and I do like the, I don't even free weights, little dumbbells. But Hank started teaching me how because I have cerebral palsy. I'm a Shriner's kid, and Hank's like, no, I mean, we didn't judge. The best thing about being a team is. He was like, no, because I thought, because normally I'll do like the pull-up bars with a little assist sometimes. I hadn't worked out in 7 years. So Hank's like, no, Hank took just a bench, pushed it over and stretched, not pull up the bar, but you actually let your body go and you pop and you just rut your muscles. Hank, thank you so much because with my body, my body, how bad I hurt. I limp around here all the time. I'm okay if I can't look, and I do not take disability. I feel like 20% of my right foot. And look, if I can't look, if I don't pull it off, it's fine. Hank will push me in a wheelchair, Scott will push me in a wheelchair. But it's all about Mississippi. And that's something you stand for. It's what Hank stands for. And I really believe in that. And Scott does too. It's like, I mean, I don't have to, like, for me, I'm more interested in people that are teammates and like look, my brain's firing off and I'm able to do a show with a camera, duct tape over there. We have flickers with our equipment, but I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not bought. Scott's not bought. I'm not bought. I'm not in the system. To me, I was so one of them kids growing up. This, Sean. It's like we would always dream about, for our dream is, cut the coast in half. Like cut the coast in half, like Coast Boys. We go to New Orleans, Mobile, and then you start seeing the people in the state of Mississippi. You see how nice they've been to me. Everybody's been treating me well.
Yeah.
And that's something I love.
Well, I'm glad you're seeing that because a lot of times on the coast, I think we have a tendency to see the coast in our eyes. And that's because we were born and raised there. But I do think when like you come up here and you realize, man, these
I'm
are
just
good
homesick,
people.
man. I've been born and raised Ocean Springs.
But these are great people here. And when you
too.
go to Tupelo, they're great people. When you go to DeSoto County, they're great people. And that's what I get passionate about is the people of our state, helping people, making it safer. And you asked me, how do I keep it all going in my head? And I had a good friend of mine that told me when I took the job, and I was probably a little bit panicked about it. It was just so overwhelming. He said, Sean, there's only one way to eat an elephant, and it's one bite at a time. And that was the only way to approach this is one bite at a time, one foot in front of the other. And then the other thing is what I found in state government, what I think is critical is I had people that worked at this department that were passionate about what they were doing. And what I really had to do was sit down with them and say, I'm a new leader. I'm not going to tell you how to do this, but we've got to fix it. So tell me how you would fix these problems. And then we would sit with no chain of command, with no restrictions, and have honest conversations about different ideas and bounce them around. And what I told them, 100%, we might have an idea that doesn't work, but we're not going to not try it because of fear of it not working. We'll try it. If it doesn't work, we'll pivot.
Problem solver. That is, you're a problem solver.
Well, and I let the people that knew it and that had the passion for it take the chances to do the job. And look, I'm the benefactor. Yeah, I guess you could say it makes me look good as the leader, but it's really them. It's the men and women at my agency, at our agency, at your agency, the Department of Public Safety, that make these strides day in and day out. We talked about the reduction in teenage fatalities. We talk about the reduction in wait times. We talk about the reduction in the backlog. It's not me. It's them. I just gave them the freedom to do their jobs and listen to them and let them solve those problems they knew they could fix, but it had just never been given the freedom to do. And that's hopefully what I bring to the table is that mindset. And I brought it from the legislature because you bring in the idea about how you want your bill. And by the time it gets done, you're thinking about 10 different things that change your mind about how you thought.
I didn't know that. So like, I'm telling you.
Shit. I thought I had it turned off.
I'm going to hold you in contempt.
The one thing I learned about being here also, like, guys, I'm not, all right, something happened, but
Did it,
you can hear my audio.
you lose audio?
Oh, no, it was fine. I was going to cut it off
Okay.
anyways to play backgammon with Sean. So I had this recorded. Sorry, guys, it happens. You will see a better version because I made a promise to everybody in Mississippi that I have it all 4K and audio. But right now, I want to play backgammon because I want to see if we can challenge the minds, because it's seriously, and we might post it, we might not. But if you think about you're trying to run for government because you want to take action, you have to be in the field. You have to be in the community. You have to sacrifice being from home. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, I'm proud of you, Sean.
Yeah.
And
Proud of you, Jourdan.
Thank
I'd be
you.
proud of that.
all right, well, hey guys, let's see if I got what it takes. And I will cold plunge twice. Hank, I cannot believe you want to do that twice. I will talk to you very soon. Also, miss y'all. I miss y'all. I miss everybody. I think everybody can do great things. But I'll make a promise to you, like I said, if you're listening to this audio, and that's why I love testing people, if you're paying attention or not, I have to finish Sean's stuff first, but I really am going to really work hard tonight. Now, I've been running on about 2-3 hours sleep, and most people here don't even like, and y'all are like, oh no, they're in a club or something. No, they like, well, so that's my brain on my computer, but I got to get this done. And I'm going to be sending out my mind, how I do things, how you can, if you want to learn Photoshop, I'll send you clips on YouTube. I'll pack everything up for your moms. Do me a favor. Literally do me a favor. Like even if they get out of school, let them be creative. And I'm going to send everything I can, like everything I can. I don't care if I sleep. I don't even care if I go 3 days without sleeping. And I've been pulling this off. Hank, I'll do this because we had problems with this show, but like, it's not, this show's not about me. This show's about, to me, Mississippi. I'm Mississippi proud, and that's it. And I love you guys, but I will promise you, maybe it might not be the next morning because I really got to work on Sean's stuff. I really do. But tomorrow, because I'm trying to balance where, Hank inspired me on this. We're responding to like, I'm going to go to bed at 12, but it's just so fast life that I really need to get sleep to get better. I need to, I've lost like 12 pounds. I've cut back drinking. We went from, a whole different mindset. And I think, hey, and I'll call you out. I'll call you out, all the tech guys. Tech's coming. And I will stay here, whatever it takes. I don't care if I sleep on a bench. I don't care what it takes. I've been and Michael, my brother, Michael, I know you moved to California and you ran away because you couldn't handle your mind, but like, dude, I miss you, man. And I'll do whatever it takes. You hear me? Emily already knows. I told her that I'm going to do the fight, and it's a sacrifice.